Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you the first game of a best of 3 between Funagor and ActionMambels. In this one we're going to be seeing Sainte-Mère-Église, and on either side we're going to be seeing the 3rd Canadian Infantry for Funagor and the 17th SS Panzergrenadier. So this is a town map. And that means that infantry is going to be a priority in this game. We're going to be seeing Stosstroop go up against Stormtroopers, and it will be interesting to see who comes out on top. Now, in the previous series that we watched between Neff and Rust, we saw Neff make fantastic use of the Stosstroop. So I'm hoping that ActionMambels can display a similar trait and make good use of the smoke in order to reposition his forces. On the side of Funagor, it's going to be more about the use of the Stormtroopers and their smoke in order to, take the ground in the centre. On either side of the town, however, that's definitely going to be down to the 17th SS player, ActionMambels, to use IG-18s, particularly on this top side. IG-18s could come in very handy. Towards the mid to late game, however, they may start getting countered by 25 pounders. So there's that to look out for as well. But both players investing quite a lot towards this town, which is to be expected, but an interesting composition coming out from ActionMambels for sure. Stug 3 at the start, supported by an SPW 223. This could very easily be a command infantry, and that would probably be a lot safer in the town than a 223. If that 223 goes down, then all of this is vulnerable. And at the moment, all we see is a Panzerschreck squad, a recon squad, probably Speertroop, and an MG. There is not a single Stosstroop moving to the centre town, which to me feels like a huge mistake. The purchase of this 170mm off-map, however, is not so much of a mistake. I think that's actually quite a nice idea. But without the infantry to back it up, and to sort of take advantage of enemy infantry being pinned down, it might not be such a good idea after all. There's also an AA coming in at the start, and an IG-18. And that's all on the centre road, heading to Sainte-Mère-Église. On the other side of things, we have Funagor, who is using a Ram 2 at the start. Going to be sending that into the town. That's actually quite common, we see that, because it's better than having like an AT gun just left on the road. Very, very hard to kill a Ram 2 at the start. And then he's going to be backing up his infantry, 2 rifle squads there by 2 flamethrower squads, and there's also 2 stormtroopers in there with an MG and a command leader there. So, quite an infantry disparity heading towards the centre of the town. We also see Funagor actually securing his flanks, sending some small combinations of units either side of the town as well. So this is going to open up some massive salients for Funagor at the start, +1 already in his favour. I feel like ActionMambels is just going to end up dropping the ball completely here. He is sending something up to the top side maybe to cut off that. IG-18 might be able to cover the bottom side. But I'm just worried about this engagement in the town. Panzerschreck almost kills off one of the Bedfords with the infantry inside, but the flamethrowers there are going to be able to do a lot of damage to the Speertroop. The Stormtroopers should finish them off when they get in range. They also have a good range onto the MG42 as well, so that MG42 is very dead. And with both of those infantry units already gone, this Stug 3 is in a pretty bad spot. It's going to be able to open up onto the Ram 2, and the off-map is now coming down. However, the Ram 2, it looks like just moved out of line of sight due to it being pinned down by the 170mm off-map. We do see the Bazooka squad or Piat team go down at the backside. And the Stug 3 doesn't really have too much that can kill it other than the rifle leader. But it's still got to be relatively careful. More infantry is now finally arriving. And with the off-map coming down, maybe he can capitalize on that with Stosstroop and the Panzergrens that are coming to help out. Stormtroopers moving into the building right next to the SBW-223. They're not going to be able to drop any grenades on them. Although this SBW-223 is vulnerable to open top attack. But the Stormtroopers coming in there just in time, the Stosstroop onto the Stormtroopers and killing them off. HMG does go down as well. These Stormtroopers, they're being pinned down by their own off-map. Quite a big mistake there actually from ActionMambels. You don't want that to happen. Funagor is slowly moving forwards this rifle leader. He's going to fall back these rifles and replace them with the rifle leader. If this rifle leader can get the Piat onto the Stug, that's what we've got to watch out for. Not much help happening elsewhere on the map. Can they align that Piat and get it on target in time? Don't know if they can. Now the grenades have just come in from the Stormtroopers. The Stug 3 is turning round to kill off the rifles, and my god, what just killed that? The 223 goes down, so did the Stug 3. The rifles must have killed the 223 with their grenades, but the Stormtroopers must have killed the Stug 3 in the rear armor with the 20 HE power grenades. That is not something you see very often. Wow. Fantastic job by Funagor there to kill off a Stug 3 with Stormtroopers. That isn't something you see very often, and that has completely left the town open for Funagor to take. Rifles going to be hitting the IG-18 here. Command carrier coming up to join in that party. Likely to see the command carrier win out in that engagement for sure. The IG-18 will change target once it pins down the rifles. However, it needs to start firing at the command carrier as soon as possible. Oh, it fired at the rifles, another rifle squad there, and that's going to allow the command carrier to finish it off. The only chance that IG-18 had to live is to hit the command carrier and kill it. But not the case this time around. The Ram 2 moving up the road, almost getting a shot onto the half-track here. Half-track running for its life. Pack 38 is waiting down the road to receive the Ram 2. Ram 2 can't fire back at a distance because it doesn't have any HE shells. It only has its 600 meter range machine gun. However, 12 front armor is going to be more than enough to bounce a couple shots from the Pack 38. And he's going to just be able to secure his position in the town. On the bottom side, already has the ground here. On the top side, the same deal. And ActionMambels really has his work cut out for him. Losing the Stug 3 like that was just really bad. Like, the main issue with having those units that close to enemy infantry isn't actually that the infantry will kill them, it's more that the infantry will make them surrender. And I reckon if the Stormtroopers hadn't killed the Stug 3, they might have just made them surrender anyway. And even if that hadn't have happened, the Ram 2 probably could have just come around the corner and shot it in the face before the Stug 3 even gets, you know, on target. Like, a Stug 3 is not really good for a town engagement. Fair enough if you're thinking you're going to come up against a Ram 2 and need something to kill it, but then I would say you bring that in after the Ram 2 arrives rather than before, because if you use majority Stosstroop in the town, then you have Panzerfaust at your disposal anyway. And to me, the whole composition of forces from ActionMambels really confused me. 170mm mortar, or off-map, was actually a pretty decent idea. But now we're also seeing an investment in the Ju-87. Does he really need to kill the Ram that badly? I'm not sure he does. He can come in and take out the command carrier, that's fine. But he's going to need side shots onto that Ram to really get the kill there. This is a 9 HE power 37mm cannon on the Ju-87. Got to get line of sight, shoot it in the rear armor or the side armor. But at the moment, I'm not even sure if he can see it. Yeah, it's backed out of line of sight. And this Ju-87 just waiting for targets. But not enough recon really to spot anything. Only recon on the bottom side, the speed troop. Things aren't looking good at all. Look at the massive forces in comparison from Funagor to ActionMambels. This is a huge disparity. And because HMG are going to be able to pin down the Panzergrenz in the open, Lynx is coming into view. Ju-87 is going to pick that off. And fair enough, trying to like kill off all of the extra units like the command carriers and so on. But it's definitely not worth the purchase of a Ju-87. In my opinion, what you probably need at this point is maybe a mortar to provide smoke to the front of the town, charge in stormtroopers, then you'll start to really put the pressure on Funagor once again and maybe get a foothold back in the town. That's what I would be looking to do as a 17th SS player at this point. Funagor has responded with a couple of AA units, and he's more in his right to do that than ActionMambels is, because he's just reacting to the use of Air Force. Probably didn't want to have to bring in these Staghound AAs early on because it's potentially a waste of points, but if the enemy are actually using slow-moving aircraft like that, Staghound AAs can be very effective. So anyway, infantry engagements continuing on the bottom side here. Speed Troop are going to be smoked off from the Stormtroopers. Stormtroopers dropping that smoke so that they can get a better engagement onto the Speed Troop. This Speed Troop has a attack move order, and it was just going to run straight through the Stormtroopers, but it looks like ActionMambels has noticed that. 6-pounder, however, has just bailed out the 170mm off-map, and I hope that didn't have a shot left. We saw, I think, 2 go down in the town. I'm not sure if a third came down in the end. But either way, the off-map going to be killed off. And the Staghound AA is now here to provide fire support onto the Panzergrenz. And that, I guess that is one thing that's useful about the Staghound AAs, is that they can be used as that ground fire support as well. 50 cal, 30 cal, easily pinning down the Panzergrenz, and possibly I would like to see Funagor actually push his rifles after the fact. We are now going to be seeing a Nebelwerfer come in, and similar to the use of a mortar, this could be the right idea in order to push back into the town. Like use a Nebelwerfer to pin down all of this infantry and then rush in the the Stoss troop. But instead all we're going to see is the Nebelwerfer strike come in onto a rifle squad. Fair enough if he tried to use it on the 6-pounder and then brought in some armour. But otherwise, a pretty pointless strike in my opinion. And now there's a 25-pounder on the field from Funagor, which is going to start artying him back. Going for the Pak 38 first, as you can probably see it due to the sniper scouts here. Doesn't want those sniper scouts shot at by the IG-18 though. But yeah, this isn't going to get any better for ActionMambels. Pretty sure Funagor's secured his position. He can bring in Sextons in Phase B, and we just went into Phase B. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them come out. Then any units like Nebelwerfers, Pak 38s, IG-18s that appear from now on will be instantly RT'd, and it's going to be very hard for ActionMambels to deal with, being so far behind already. Like, all that needs to happen is rifles need to run forwards, reveal the location of Panzergrenz and other fire support units, and then the 25-pounders get those kills, and then you just continue to move on and repeat. Another Nebelwerfer 41 brought in. This one actually firing at the right location, however no Stormtroopers or Stoss Troop on the way. I believe Stoss Troop actually means Stormtroopers, but I'm calling them Stoss Troopers rather than Stormtroopers and correcting myself, just so that it's not as confusing. It's like Leo Major took a rocket in the face there. Is he going to be burnt to death? Probably not. Takes a lot more to kill Leo Major, I'll tell you that much. 25-pounder. Going for the shots there straight away onto the enemy Nebelwerfer. Rifles are being pinned down now by the Panzergrenz. And the Speed Troop are making another run across the field. There we go. Rifles finally going down. Because HMG is moving forwards, That should have a much better chance of taking on Panzergrenz. Also a Kangaroo coming down here, and that will definitely be good enough with its 50 cal to penetrate these lowered side defences. Leo Major there, going down to the IG-18. Couldn't make the Germans surrender this time. Either way, KFZ 70 now coming in with the Panzergrenz. And does he just not have many Stoßtrupp or any Stoßtrupp on this division? Because I don't think we've seen a single unit of Stoßtrupp in the game so far. Ju-87 is coming in, however. What can be seen by ActionMambels? Nothing. So the the choice to bring this in is very questionable, considering it's just been instantly forced to fall back by enemy AA. Surely you'd want to bring in the Storch first and then bring in the Ju-87, but that Storch is also going to be forced to fall back very quickly. So the IG-18's taking on the Vickers HMG, which is great. Panzergrenz there also with the 400 meter range MGs going to be able to get on target as well. Ooh, Ju-87 coming back in. Is this a second Ju-87? Guess the track's broken on the Ram 2, which disables that for the majority of the game. That's a relatively good hit, but no solid points really coming in. And now with the IG-18 being a nuisance on the bottom side, Funagor is going to hit that with his artillery. The IG-18 here has also already been taken out, and the Sexton has now arrived to continue the pain. So without the IG-18, this Kangaroo can move up, take out the Panzergrenz, and that's going to reveal a huge salient on the bottom side, which Funagor can push into. These Panzergrenz, one of them got pinned down in the open before it even reached the town. The second one has reached the town, however it's currently sitting on the road with light cover. Should probably be jumping into the building to receive heavy cover. Typhoon does try and come in with the bombing strike, but is not successful in doing so thanks to the flak filling. But now with the command carrier arriving, the rifles and Vickers HMG on target, Grenadiers have been taken down to 2 men, and the Grenadiers in the open are down to 4 men. So 2 units of Panzer Grenadiers brought in pretty much did nothing. Off map is doing more work, and that's currently being counter batteried. Ju-87 tries to go for the shot onto the Staghound AA. However, the Staghound AA is going to force that to fall back alongside the Kangaroo. And these Ju-87s just haven't been paying themselves off. Now, I do love these aircraft. I think they are great. However, used in this scenario when you're so far behind and not really getting many kills with them is just costing him the rest of this game. Nebelwerfer is firing away. This is the 3rd Nebelwerfer purchase as well. Where is the infantry? If you're going to be artying, right, you want to probably save until all of these Nebelwerfers are ready to go. Then what you want to do is bring in the Stoßtrupp or your Panzergrenz, if you want to use Panzergrenz, although I would definitely recommend Stoßtrupp, and push them into the town and kill off what's left, because there is literally barely anything here anymore. They're all really low health. You know, rifle leader, rifles, stormtroopers, rifles, they're all 2 health or 1 health. You know, just get another Nebelwerfer strike in there, but actually follow it up with something, and he will be able to make ground back into this town, but he's just not. Now, fair enough, he doesn't have recon, and ActionMambels has no idea really what's holding the line there. But at the same time, he's got the IG-18 into position here. He had an IG-18 in the position in the mid as well. Unfortunately now, all of his IG-18s are going to be killed because we've moved into phase B. There's a Typhoon available for Funagor, and that's going to be bombing out that IG-18 and just opening up that bottom side flank. And if it's not the Typhoon, then it's the Sextons, and the Sextons are now counter-battering the Nebelwerfers. Storch did take a little bit of a strafing run from the Typhoon, however, going to be forced to fall back. Ju-87 does finish off the tracked Ram 2. But the Spitfire going to be picking up that kill soon after. This Ju-87 got very close to the enemy AA. Spitfire's going to be coming back round. Fortunately, an SDK of Z71 in position to force that to fall back, because this Flak-Verling is definitely not in that position, since it's being hit very hard by artillery. So the 25-pounder and the Sexton firing away there. Flak-Verling goes down. Now, on the same side of things, I'm surprised Funagor isn't being more aggressive, especially considering he knows he just bombed out the IG-18 on the bottom side, and the only infantry he's been facing down here is Panzergrenz. Like, why wouldn't you just try and probe with one of your rifle units? This is like 15 points. It's not exactly a big deal, and you would find that there is literally nothing here. Off-map coming in once again. Does take out the command infantry, which leaves a lot of this infantry quite badly exposed, and surely having a Panzergrenz this close to the town gives him a strong idea of what he's up against. Or not, in this case. Infantry now coming back into the town, however, only 3 minutes left on the clock until Funagor wins. He's already built himself up 2,000 points, and I'm surprised that ActionMambels in this game even has a chance to come back. Funagor hasn't really secured his lead, when he definitely could have previously, is currently hunkered down and just is relying on these 25-pounders, which is fair enough, but it definitely slows down what could have been a very quick victory. More off-map coming in, this time going to be taking out the Piat. Rifles pinned down there. Marder's getting very close to this infantry. Why would you have the Marder go in first? I do not know. Grenades are going to come out from the stormtroopers, and there is the potential there that that Marder 3 gets killed by the grenades that go into the open top. Yeah, I think that was just the stormtroopers there using their 20 HE power grenade to blow up the Marder. Why would you send that Marder in first? Very, very confusing play there. Make sure the Panzer Grenadiers are in these buildings. Fair enough, have the Marder like on the road, but just not that far up, and you'll be fine. Now Typhoon, Spitfire, going to be going for the attack onto the Storch. There is still the Flak-Verling on tracks there, which is going to be able to force the Typhoon to fall back. Nebelwerfer strike does come in. Looks like one of the 25-pounder shots landed directly on the Opel Blitz there, and the Storch is going to go down as well. So it looks like we might see quite a lot of kills come out from Funagor, but I still feel like he could have won this game 10 minutes ago by pushing a +3 and all the way through to ActionMambels spawn, really. ActionMambels really been dropping the ball with his heavier units. Ju-87 coming in once again. Going to be going for the shots onto the Kangaroo. But that's going to get shot down by a Spitfire Mark 9, I believe. Focke-Wulf's now being brought in for ActionMambels, and Focke-Wulf does return the kill. However, investing in 2 fighters at this point is definitely not going to win you the game. And maybe ActionMambels has just resigned himself to defeat at this point with 40 seconds left on the clock. +2 for Funagor. Looks like Funagor has sealed the deal and will be winning the first game in this best of 3. Like, I like the idea that ActionMambels had to rely on Nebelwerfers to push back into the town, because it can definitely work. And the 17th SS often has a lot more infantry availability than other divisions. However, just the fact that he did the attacks and with the Nebelwerfers and then didn't back them up with his own infantry is just tragic. Focke-Wulf 190 going to be going down there to the Typhoon as well towards the end. Just a little bit of a sucker punch from Funagor. And after 21 minutes and 18 seconds, Funagor is victorious versus ActionMambels. 1,480 kills to 705 losses. So well played by Funagor, especially getting the kill with the Stug 3 onto the Stug 3 with the Stormtroopers. That was very nice indeed. Probably one of the first times that I've ever seen that happen, but then again, I'm not particularly a person who plays that close with my tanks. It just seemed like a very risky position to have the Stuggen in the first place, because like I said, if it wasn't taken out by the stormtroopers, it would have been surrendered probably, and if it wasn't taken out by the surrender, then it would have been taken out by the Ram too. There was just so many threats there that having a Stug in the middle of a town just didn't seem like the right play, especially when you have a division that has stormtroopers, and like the Stormtroop just didn't come out throughout that entire game. So maybe just ActionMambels didn't have them on the division. I don't know. It really confused me. But either way, the kills there, yeah, the Stormtroopers confirming that for me. Stug 3, HE grenade, gonna be blowing that up. Kangaroo did go down to a Ju-87. Sexton killed off the Flak-Verling. Actually, the Kangaroo shot down the Ju-87, sorry. And Typhoon picked up the 190 at the end there. Stag Calde picked off a Ju-87. Even the Ju-87's going down in the end and really not paying themselves off. Like, if I jump to the losses, this one did pick up the Ram 2 in the end, but he'd already tracked it, so he could have just avoided it for the rest of the game. And then the other one only killed a Kangaroo. And they're probably 150 points each, 160 points each, something like that. And this Stug definitely didn't pay itself off, killed a Vickers HMG and the Rifle Leader, which also had a chance of killing the Stug 3 with a Piat. I don't know. That was just a very, I don't know, confusing game for me. ActionMambels maybe not knowing quite how to utilize the 17th SS. Maybe his ideal divisions were banned from him, and he was left to play with something he was unfamiliar with. But there we go. Get Stormtroop in your division if you're playing the 17th SS, guys. It is pivotal to winning those kinds of engagements. And this time round, Funagor took full advantage. That's all. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and join me next time for Game 2. Goodbye.